Before we started, would you taking care of your cellular phone, please? Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agencies, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting will start 6:37 at the Fernando Nene Torres City Council chambers. Call for the order, attendance. Ms. Garcia? Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Castro?
Here.
Councilmember Rivera?
Here.
Councilmember Moreno?
Here.
Councilmember Hurtado is absent. We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Now, time of the Pledge of Allegiance, lead by the Ms. Redona, Sonia Redona. Thank you, Mr. Redona. And invocation, I believe we are not on the list. Closed session announcements, we didn't have a closed session today. And approval of agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Moreno. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Real. We have vote.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Announcement, this proceeding may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Presentations. One, the proclamation honoring Clara Redona, memory trees for the loved ones. And I believe council members, we have paper. So we're gonna start Mrs. Clara Redona. Memory trees for loved ones honoring Mrs. Clara Redona. Whereas Arbor Day was first observed in 1872 with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the world. And
whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, they cause heating and cooling, cause moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce and giving oxygen, and provide habitat to wildlife. And
whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And
whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our communities. And whereas Kennedy Gardens residents are firmly committed to promoting a safe, clean, and eco-friendly environment by engaging in programs that reduce crime, beautify the community, and revitalize the area for the well-being and quality of life, its residents and children. And
whereas Kennedy Gardens residents have begun a reforestation program and have planted trees in the neighborhood parks to commemorate the accomplishments and to honor and memorialize loved ones dearly missed, and Mr. Castro.
Kennedy Garden, right?
Next.
Whereas Kennedy Garden,
No, I did it. The next one.
the next one.
Castro.
On
Mr.
December?
Castro.
Whereas on December 8, 2015, neighbors gathered at the Robert F. Kennedy Park and planted 16 trees in honor and memory of beloved neighbors Clara Redona, with peacefully passed away on October 8, 2014, at the age of 85. And Mayor Kim.
Therefore, be resolved with that I, June Kim, Mayor of the City of Calexico, enthusiastically support planting trees, and I urge all citizens to support efforts that care for our trees and the Kennedy Gardens reforestation stations program. I encouraged all citizens to plant trees to gladden our heart and promote the well-being of present and future generations. In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the second day of February 2016, Jung S. Kim, Mayor. So, Miss Clara Ledona, it was very supportive of me too, as we have a good memory with her. I miss her, and then I meet. Thank you. Next proclamation: memory trees for loved ones, honoring Mr. Ramon Teran. His family is here. Okay. I think we should read again. Yeah. Whereas Arbor Day was first observed in 1872 with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the world, and
whereas trees can reduce the eruption of our precious topsoil by wind and water. They cut, raising and cooling, cause moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce the life, giving oxygen, and provide habitat to wildlife. And
whereas trees are renewable resources, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And
whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas Kennedy Gardens residents are firmly committed to promoting a safe, clean, and eco-friendly environment by engaging in programs that reduce crime, beautify the community, and revitalize the area for the well-being and quality of life its residents and their children deserve. And
whereas Kennedy Gardens residents have begun a reforestation program and have planted trees in the neighborhood parks to commemorate the accomplishments and to honor and memorialize loved ones dearly missed. And
whereas on December 2015, neighbors gathered at the Robert F. Kennedy Park and planted 15 trees in honor and memory of beloved neighbor Ramon Teran, who peacefully passed away on September 16, 2010, at the age of 66. And
therefore, be it resolved that I, June Kim, Mayor of the City of Calexico, enthusiastically support planting trees, and I urge all citizens to support efforts that care for our trees and the Kennedy Gardens reforestation program. I encourage all citizens to plant trees to gladden our heart and promote the well-being of present and future generations. In witness whereof, I hereinto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the second day of February 2016, June as Kim Mayor. It's a good thing to us to memorize our people who've been served the community and also respecting memory on their loved. Okay, number 3, presentation by Chief Reggie Gomez on Calexico Police Departments.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Honorable Council. This was initially a oral report.
Chief, that microphone's no good.
I thought I fixed it the other day.
Is it working?
I fixed it.
Oh, okay, awesome.
You can use the other, it's better. You can use the other one? Okay. Well, this was originally an oral report that I presented to the Police Advisory Commission. And I called it a State of the Department report. Issues I identified and what we have taken to correct the issues and what other things we've come across. The commission had asked me what they could do to help correct some of these discrepancies that I found within the department and staffing. And I recommended that they provide a Police Advisory Commission report to the council. And I was under the impression we were going to sit down and prepare a written report, but here I am today. Someone that I guess voluntold me to show up, and this is my presentation. Starting off with the patrol officers, I should have 6 sergeants, 6 supervisors in uniform. I have 2. And they're currently assigned to a patrol watch where they're overlapping shifts, so they're not dedicated to their own team. I should have 31 officers. We have 19. Of the 19, there's additional 2 that are on medical leave, so you make that 21. 1 is on administrative leave, so that's 22, and 1 on military leave. The 1 on military leave is returning soon. My 2 lieutenants are, the positions are full. I should have 9 dispatchers and 1 supervisor. We have 7 dispatchers and 1 supervisor. And of the 7 dispatchers, we're in the process of hiring 2, but 1's already going through the process of leaving to another agency. And I'd like to go back to the officer positions. Of the openings that we have, there's still 2 more officers that are going through the processes of being hired by another agency. I should have 3 records clerks and 1 supervisor. We have 2 records clerks and no supervisors. We're supplemented by part-time employees, volunteers out of the Hunter program. In animal control, we have 2 animal control officers. They're currently on duty, and that position is fully staffed. But their vehicle is the type that's open to the elements, and it's not enclosed. That protects the animals they pick up. And we absolutely have no police officer reserves. Looking at the building, one of the main things I wanted to look at was the jail entrance, or what we call the Sally Port. And that's where we keep the bicycles, police bicycles that were stolen several months back. They're still sitting there, and the doors we can't close. And I was given the go-ahead to go ahead and fix them by Mr. Finley, and Mr. Mercado, the fire chief, told me who his contact person is to fix the door, so we're working on that. The evidence room is probably the hardest thing to look at. It's a complete mess. It really is. That's not the way I recall the evidence room looking at it. We were using our jail cells to store evidence that should be destroyed, returned to the property owners, or just it's just sitting there, and it's accumulating a lot of space. The cars are running fine. They're being maintained regularly. Officers are filling out forms to keep them in a running condition, but unfortunately, we can have the highest of technology within the vehicles, but we're lacking the basic necessities that officers need, such as the equipment in the trunks, the medical kits, flares, cones, blankets. So we worked on that. Toward the end, I commented that I understand that the city is in a real financial hardship, but if I could have the okay to hire some officers, that would ease the tension, because right now people are calling the police department and they're not getting the officer in the 3 minutes that they should be getting. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes, sometimes it takes longer. So if I could have the okay to fill at least some of the positions and get my supervisors on board, that would be outstanding. And the reason I asked this is because when I worked for the Calexico Police Department before, I was given direction by my police chief to fill positions, but now I understand I have to come to the council to request authorization. And that's where it ends.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. You're still doing it?
Sir?
Not done yet.
Finished, sir.
You finished?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Field position is not council's decision. It should be administrative decision. The council makes up how many TO, how many officers approve it. So it's all city manager and police chief is supposedly to the hiring process to when, how. So council doesn't hire the police officers.
Thank you for correcting record.
Yes.
Any questions, gentlemen?
Mr. Leon?
Nothing new. I think we all know that that's the situation our police department is and has been for a good while now. It's obvious. I think any citizen knows that we are definitely lacking a police presence. We're lucky that we're a city that has a lot of law enforcement around us: Border Patrol, Customs, ICE, all these you know, drug teams and all that, everything going around, and that helps. But definitely, Calexico Police Department needs to be manned the way it should be. And you know, the only thing I can say is I think everybody's on standby. We're just trying to wrap our hands around the numbers, the budget, or the numbers that we don't have. My understanding from our interim finance director, he's supposed to get us the actual numbers hopefully within the next 2 weeks to a month. Is that correct? More than a month now. So, you know, I know it's very frustrating for you and for everybody, including myself, because we don't even know where we're at financially. But I will tell you one thing: we're a month or a month and a half away from finding out, and I think that's great, because you know, this city council was almost a year and a half without any financial documents. So for a year and a half, the council was blind. And now we're kind of getting an idea of where we're at. And I think we need to know exactly where we're at before the city manager or the council can really spend anything, I think. So, you know, I understand your frustration. I want to thank you for what I consider a good move, which is, you know, getting help from the sheriff's department. I mean, I see them all over the place in Calexico right now. They're definitely, their presence is definitely seen and felt. And so, for now, I mean, we just have to do with what we got. But I do support that you guys get the manpower you guys need to keep us safe. So, other than that,
Well, if it means anything, we are in the process of getting our reserves back, and they're very happy with the good news that they're coming back.
that's good. Are these reserves that were here already?
They were reserves that were here already,
Okay.
Thank you.
and we're looking at a couple new ones.
Mr. Castro?
Yes, I would like to hear about the reserve program on the police department. Can you give us an update on that, or is available here in the Calexico Police Department? You are working on that? Or?
Well, I used to be in charge of the reserve program when I was a sergeant here in Calexico, and I had about 10 volunteers, and they function well. They're a great assistance, and then they supplement the existing police force. I left the department and came back, and now they're all gone, which is too bad, because it's basically free work, and they're dedicated people, and they're here to serve their community. So when I found out that they were let go, I started looking around to try to figure out why, and I couldn't find anything. I could only speculate why they were released. So we started working on bringing them back, plus we're looking at another 2.
Sounds great. And how is the process when someone applied? How long is gonna last in order to not to hire or to appoint them, or
They'd be hired.
Hire? Okay. How long is gonna be the process for each officer?
It depends.
Are you talking about a regular police officer or
No.
or a
Reserve
officer?
Reserve officer.
They go through the same hiring process as a regular police officer. And the process would be, you accept the application, you screen them for qualifications, you set up an oral board. After the oral board, you total up the scores, and you take the ones that score the highest or meet the standards. From there, you make an appointment for a psychological exam, doctor's exam, polygraph exam, and then, well, that's all part of the background. You finish up the background, and you set a hiring date.
So it's the same process, and so you mean probably, I'm not sure about that, but it's gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5 months? How many months? Because we need the people now, but we need to follow the rules or the law. So we're talking about how many months?
It's hard to say, because when I used to do that was my job. I was told to drop everything and get these people on board. Right now, because of our short staffing, I've got people that are double jobbing. Okay. So it could maybe take 2.5 months.
2.5 months? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hopefully sooner.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Mr. Castro, Mr. Moreno?
No questions.
Okay,
What about some drones that we can patrol the city?
okay,
Just thinking outside the box here.
I believe the was called the reserves program is been there, and just didn't call them. We didn't. I believe we didn't call them. We didn't use them. So as long as we call them back, to what's called the reserve program officers, we should be able to call right away because we just call them back. They used to be. They
And-
usually.
And that's what we're doing. And I may be wrong, but there might be a city ordinance where or proclamation where the city council of the city of Calexico recognizes the police reserve program in the Calexico Police Department.
So we have to proclamation again.
You're
But we
recognizing
never-
this program exists and should
We
exist.
never dismantled it. Well, the police chief didn't call them back, but it's not meaning officially city that dismantled the regional programs.
I'm not certain how it became dismantled. I can only speculate, but we're working on bringing them all back. We have contacted them, and they're very happy to be coming back.
So we can call them back right away.
Yes.
So we don't have to go to all the process to.
No.
When we was called the get new person, we might have to go through all the background checkup. But they already been there. To call them back, I don't think we're gonna need time.
No. What I explained was for new applicants.
Okay, so we can have maybe tomorrow.
Well, some of them are out of town, but we've contacted at least 3 or 4 of them.
Okay, please.
Okay.
And I believe my fellow council member will agree, and safety of the citizens our first priority.
Yes, sir. I agree.
I'm glad our officers doing their job. I believe they go to a lot extra mile. We still safe. We might have issues we didn't get the police officers in time, or we didn't get called, we didn't get them served. But this is our council's members' first priority to make sure to deliver our safety of the citizens. That's our first priorities.
We have allies. We have the sheriff's office. They've been a big support to the police department, and including Border Patrol.
Yes, but we still have to
We need our own.
our own. Thank you, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you.
Okay, and we finished the presentation.
Public comment.
So public comments and the public appearance. Note, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the city council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and the place of the residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session or consent item, please comment now. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing item not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and the comments to the City Council. The public comment, Mr. Benjamin Holton.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished members of the council, public at large. I was honored this morning to be at the County Board of Supervisors where they honored our Calexico volleyball team for winning the, I believe, the state titles 2 years in a row. And that goes to tell you something about the quality of Calexico and the people that live in Calexico. Hurrah for the Bulldogs. Also, we honored Norma Aguilar and Maribel Padilla for their outstanding service in reference to the homeless. One of the things that was brought up is that not only do they take care of the homeless maybe in the winter, but they have done that all year round. And I think that goes to tell you something about Calexico when it comes to taking care of our citizens at large. Now, to go into another point, last week there was a newspaper article from our local paper, Imperial Valley Press, which they talked about the proposed, I use the word proposed, ladies and gentlemen, MOU that the Economic Commission was working on between Northern Arizona University and Calexico, and this is something that we're looking to benefit the region as a whole. There was a point when the article came out that certain members of the city said they had no knowledge of this going on. I take issue with those who said they had no knowledge because it was something that came out in the agenda with the Economic Commission. It was talked about, discussed, and from there, we had a presentation for Northern Arizona University, which was it was in the agenda, and we had minutes that I signed in the commission for what took place in the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I take issue with those who say they had no knowledge when the knowledge was there. I even attempted, and I think in reference to information, I have talked about it here on the diocese. Now, with all due respect to those who, I'm going to use the word sit on the diocese, maybe they didn't hear what was being said, but with all due respect, I did talk about it, I brought it up. Now, there's those who say, why would we want to do something? What I'm trying to do is move economic for the growth of the city. One of our residents, and who is a very active part in the city, talked about what are we doing for the future of our children.
Mr. Holton, would you wrap up or
Okay.
just finish?
What are we doing for the future of our children? We are doing something. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is Javier Gonzalez.
Javier González, 237. Voy a hablar en español porque mis vecinos, la mayoría son mayores y hablan español y no vienen a las juntas, pero las ven. Yo tengo 5 meses que no he venido a estas juntas. Y la razón que no venía, ustedes saben, yo tengo 20 años sirviendo a la comunidad, nunca le he faltado el respeto a nadie, pero hace 5 meses la señorita Hurtado me faltó el respeto mucho por venir aquí y decirles que no estaban dando los reportes financieros, que iba a faltar dinero en nuestra ciudad. Yo soy del Comité de Finanzas y yo les dije hace 1 año y medio, algo está mal, algo está mal. Y porque me paraba aquí y le decía la verdad al señor Bostic y al señor Warren, esta señorita me faltó el respeto, pero voy a seguir viniendo porque ahora mis vecinos vamos a tener una junta el jueves, porque sabemos que no va a haber dinero en los próximos 4 o 5 años y nosotros queremos mejorar nuestra comunidad y nos va a tocar a nosotros plantar los árboles, mantenerlos, enfrentar a los criminales, que lo hemos hecho. El crimen de las vecindades de nosotros ha bajado casi el 80% por los programas que hacemos, platicamos con los chamacos y cosas así, pero nomás quiere venir a decirles, no viene la señorita ahora, pero que no había venido porque también por ustedes, bien clarito se los dije, hagan la censor, porque aquí estaba faltando el respeto a todo el que hablaba mal de ella y enojada como una niña porque no se hacían las cosas como ella quería. Ahora que faltan millones, ¿dónde están? ¿Dónde está la gente que estaba, que esos señores eran buenos? Mucha gente me faltó el respeto porque les decía la verdad. Ahora falta dinero y ¿quién paga el pato? Nosotros, los más pobres, la comunidad anciana. No, para que sepan, voy a seguir viniendo, voy a aportar bien, vengo a ayudar, tengo 20 años sirviendo a la comunidad, 18 de comisionado, y nunca le he faltado respeto a nadie, el staff sabe bien, ¿verdad? Y nomás quería venir a decirle a la señorita Hurtado que si no le da vergüenza, ¿verdad? Pero ahora no está aquí, pero todo lo que quiere decir. Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Javier Gonzalez. Next person is Jack Talvin. Tapio.
Mr. Mayor, City Council members, public in general, my name is Joaquin Tapia, or Jack Tapia, whichever you want to call me. I've been called worse. I want to follow up on the police chiefs. If we hire more police personnel, that'll pay for itself. I walk all over the city, and I go to the post office, and you see people there. It says a sign there, right turn only, and people holding up traffic to get into, to make a left turn, or wait for the light to turn green. Or if you walk on Imperial Avenue, coming out of McDonald's especially, people waiting, covering over the sidewalk, and I measure them to, I tell them, hey, back up a little bit. No way, just go around, So I go this, and they don't know what the hell that means. But they look around, they back up, they get scared. They say, this guy must be a gang member or something. And so that works most of the time. But I think that if you hire another police officer, just on the fines alone would pay for his salary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tapia. Okay, next one is Marlene Thomas.
Okay. Marlene Thomas, Mayor, City Councilman, attorney, and et cetera. Look, I wasn't really going to say anything tonight. I just came to observe the meeting. However, Mr. Horton and I, not together, but we attended the same meeting today at the Board of Supervisors, and unfortunately, he omitted other people from Calexico that were honored at the Board of Supervisors meeting this morning. At our Martin Luther King celebration prayer breakfast that we held here in Calexico 2 weeks ago, first of all, thank you, Calexico, and it was a magnificent event. It was a gala, it was extravagant, and had in excess over 125, I think the final count was about 135 people that had attended. So it was an extreme success. At that particular meeting, there were a couple of things that we did. Number one, we presented, and I see it's on the board there, Mr. Mayor Kim, we acknowledged that Calexico was one of the first cities in Imperial County in 1978 to honor and recognize Dr. Martin Luther King. And we presented the city of Calexico a plaque. Also, we honored, again, Betty, I don't know where you were. They recognized today in Felix Mesa. Why was Felix Mesa honored? He was honored because 22 years ago, I'm sitting there in the Board of Supervisors chamber, and here comes a man with a camera, limited English, but he had a desire to make a newspaper available to the Spanish-speaking population here in Imperial County. And 22 years later, he has achieved American dream, and he was also recognized today. He does have a business here in Calexico. And finally, and most important, is health care. I mean, I think all of us, 10 years ago, it wasn't important to me. Now I recognize the necessity and the importance of health care. In the absence of a hospital, you have a healthcare district here. You have 5 individuals that are elected, sometimes not acknowledged as elected officials, but they are elected by the people. But the good thing about them, they're elected, but they're real, true public servants. And why are they true public servants? Because they do it because they care. They don't do it for money. They get a stipend, not a salary, not a fixed income, but a stipend to provide quality health care to the citizens of Calexico. They have done some outstanding things here in Imperial County that doesn't exist anyplace. You have the wellness park. You have them donating ambulances to the city of Calexico, and the list goes on. So to omit anyone because of personal differences is stupid and ridiculous, Benny. I'm talking to you right now. You shouldn't do that. If the city's going to heal and work together, you got to come together. Don't purposely ignore people. No, please, don't purposely ignore people. However, I want to. Anyway, I want to acknowledge, and if you guys would just stand, I'm down. It's me, Sylvia Bernal, Norma, Rosie. Look at it. And my mind went blank. Anyway, these ladies were recognized last week at the Martin Luther King prayer breakfast, and also again at the Board of Supervisors today, along with Felix Mesa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. And we presented the flag the last meeting. Okay. Next person, Mr. Yanes, Manuel Yanes.
Good evening, Mayor, good evening, council members, public in general. My name is Manuel Yanes. I've been living here in the city for more than 25 years. This letter, this time I came just to talk about the budget. I was lucky that Mr. Kim, I want to thank Mr. Kim for assigning me on the board as a financial board advisor. This time I came just to repeat what a letter that was wrote in 2011 to the residents of Calexico. The city of Calexico is in severe financial and fiscal crisis. This letter was wrote in 2011. 5 years have happened, and still the city is in the same boat. What has happened? You got the income, $14 million on one hand, and you got expenses, $16 million on the other hand. That means you got $2 million short. What administration has done to short this amount? What they had done? They spend around $2 million. They overspend over more than $2 million every year. What it means? $40,000 every week. $40,000. I asked Mr. Eduardo about it in the last meeting that we had. What's happening right now? I don't see the shortcut in this. I understand that Mr. Gomez just took aboard. He just came on board. But Mr. Gomez, does he know the police department was spending $3 million or $4 million 5 years ago? How much the police department is spending right now? And we are still short on policemen. What is happening? How much money are we spending on salaries? We only have 2 options. We don't have other options. Or we raise taxes, we are going to lose sales. Or we have to cut salaries or cut employees. We don't have other option. That's what I did 7, 8 years ago. I had a company with 10, 11 people working in my office. It was on Imperial Street. How many people do I hire right now? None. 0. Why? Because the income that is coming, I'm sure on that. I don't have enough income. Sometimes I don't even have money to pay the water bill. How come it? How come? If we know at the city of Calexico they were short $2 million every year, Or we should do. What? We cannot cut salaries. We cannot cut employees. What are we going to do? Administration must do a good effort, the best effort to either way, or raise income or reduce these expenses. Otherwise, believe me, and that's what I told you three or 4 months ago. This book is useless. And believe me, in 2 or 3 years, we are going to be in a different situation. Worse, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yanis. Next person, Silvia Bernal, please. And following to Ms. Bernal, Mr. Ashad.
Good evening, Sylvia Bernal from the Hefferman Memorial Healthcare District. I was going to stand up here and ditto what Marlene was saying, but I'm not going to do that. She said what she had to say. All I want to say is that yesterday, February the 1st, El Centro Regional opened their doors, the urgent care center, up to midnight, and they had a really good response. We also signed with Pioneer Hospital. If you saw the news at 4 o'clock today, it came out about us being in partner with Pioneer Hospital. But more than anything, today we were supposed to have a meeting, a JPA meeting. And it's my understanding that when one of the city council members can't show up, I know, Mr. Castro, you weren't able to go, but it was my understanding that the alternate would be Mr. Moreno. And we had the CO officer from El Centro Regional come over to do a presentation to let you know what's going to be happening at 400 Mary Avenue. So the meeting was canceled. It really makes it hard for us because we have attorneys that are coming down and they still have to get paid. Please, please, and Gabby, please, if one of them can't come, call Mr. Moreno because it's getting ridiculous. We can't handle business because it was very embarrassing for us to sit there and find out that we weren't going to have a meeting. We want to continue to do what's best for this city, and for right now, Hefferman is the only thing positive that's coming out of Calexico. And you should be proud of us because, you know, we're 5 women. And you know what? We can kick ass. Excuse my French. But you know what? We've been doing one hell of a good job. And that's the only thing positive that's coming out here. Please, the wellness park, they're still not up. The signs are here already, and the park is still not up. It's been since August that we've been waiting for these parks. What's the excuse now? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perla. Mr. Morales, do you know about the wellness park and why it's been delayed?
No, I don't. I will ask our city manager about that.
Okay, thank you. And next person, Mr. Ashad.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Mohammed Asiyat, and I live on 1709 Elena Drive. I am the chairman of the California Mental Health Board Ethics Committee, as well the Recognition Committee. I want to bring to the attention of the citizen as well as the councilman, my son's case has been 2 years. I never received one call from one council to tell me how you family doing. And not even on that, you know, that the fact I've been in this city for almost 30 years. Our roots goes back to 1700s. If somebody would like to find our roots, just go to the Evergreen Cemetery, we are there. So I have not treated anybody in this city in any disrespect, neither I have done any disrespect to anybody. I treat everybody as a family, as he like to be respected, the way I respect people. I feel the city councilman had failed big time, not only with my son's case, is the fact ignoring the corruption with the administration, the mishandling of fund, it goes back to the councilman, because whoever sees that money, they have to follow all that. We have not seen one damn things happening with the police department since the previous chief. Where all this money? Supposedly $1 million on investigation. What about my son investigation? Up to today, thanks to Chief Gomez, for bringing up the case in front of figuring the fourth guy that was beating my son, that has brain damage and hearing damage that cost him all his life. He's going to live with that. I don't know who can tolerate this kind of thing. I don't believe any family can tolerate these things and deal with post-traumatic stress like we're dealing. We have not felt welcome in this city because the lack of ignorance. I think this councilman need to go and learn ethics first. You need to take training on ethics before how you handle things. This city have ruined by the problem with the council one against another. It's like a boxing match here. But I promise in this city, as long as I'm here, I'm going after each corrupted official, as well police officer, until justice is prevailed. I've been on the phone since morning with the President's office, President of United States, as well the FBI, as Department of Justice. I want solution to this problem in this city. Nobody owns this city. Nobody. Every Korean, Mexican, Muslim, he deserves to live in the city unless you show me an ownership of the city. And I request an action, because we cannot, enough is enough. Enough that we cover up for corrupt. But to come and say, I had a lot of respect to Mr. Moreno. The remarks was made on Facebook. I don't appreciate that. I think this is, I always treated you with respect. We all deserve respect, and I don't like these remarks because it makes life miserable for these kids learning in the school. My daughter is being called Osama bin Laden daughter. I mean, for God's sake, we enough facing this problem as a minority in this city. I have volunteered 33 years in this city for public. 33 years. Go back, look in the books. I have not collected one penny. And at the end, the least things, my son paid the price for this crime. Mr. Chalu was a very corrupt officer, and I still say it publicly. And whoever aided Mr. Chalu in his corruption, I'm after him all the way until justice prevails. I'm not going to leave this case go aside. My son is damaged for life. He's going to be demented before he even 30. He's going to have Alzheimer's because of the damage on his brain. And all these criminals are walking free in the city, going to the gym. We should be ashamed of ourselves to be leaders, and we cannot act professionally in to stir and hate in the city on social media. Enough. We're suffering big time. We are the ones to rise. Have you seen me killing someone? I can't believe it. People have this thinking, and to be leader, you have to be showing model. If I'm an educator or I'm a doctor, I have to show modeling, respect. You can use your freedom of speech, but within boundary. You have to show respect to all people around you.
Mr. Ashad, would you wrap up, please?
Yes. And I'm, I want to thank Mr. Finley big time. Mr. Finley had pushed, he listened. Mr. Warren just listening and ignoring me. Mr. Bostic showing me Hollywood act, all Hollywood lies. Mr. Chalu is been lying to me from day one. He's been covering up for these criminals. Never arrested them. They all were never arrested because he doing favoritism to people here in the city. And these guys, they're still free, and we are terrorized. We are in jail. This is how the safety in this city is supposed to be. Thank you very much.
You got 3 minutes already passed. Next person, Ismael Lopez.
Good evening, Mr. Major Castleman. First time here. I live in 1094 Holdridge here in Calexico. I'm here because a comment that Mr. Real, Councilman Real made, and it came to my mind immediately. You're businessmen, right? Or maybe business owners. Can you live without a financial statement a year and a half? To me, I'm not a business owner, but I'm a businessman. I cannot live a month without a financial report to see where the business is going. What do I have to do to bring it back? That's key information to the city, the state, the government. I know that the cities do not produce or create wealth. They receive to spend. And as Mr. Janya said, you got so much, you only can spend so much. You cannot go in a deficit. And if you go in a deficit, you're borrowing. Anyhow, is this lack of information from the administration office, finance office, gives me a lot to think. What are they doing? Why they're not doing overtime? Why they're not, putting the horses in place to provide you that information so you can lead? Without information, you cannot lead. Also, I don't know if the city has a plan for the immediate, mid, and long term. Other cities around our country have come out of their financial problems with a plan and the involvement of all their citizens. Why we don't do that? And again, this is my first time here, and I just hear it and blew me away. What can we do to make your plan happen? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Before we go to the next person, and the city had almost 1 year worth book was not recorded. So which is, we couldn't find where we are. But we still mostly find the number, how much we've been overspending, over $10 million overspended, and we're still working on it. And I believe March, we're gonna have all together coming out, and we put all the personnel and put the working, even some of the employees, they're working weekends, and also our employee is looking for chasing the receipt and the invoice. Former administration paid a lot of money without any proper documents. That we looking for the documents to matching the numbers. So we have a chaos. We almost taking care of the little by little. So almost there. Thank you, Mr. Lopez, about your concern. And next person, Frank Yanes.
I wish to give my 3 minutes to Jason Jung, please.
Okay. Yeah. You did it? Oh, yes.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm here because of a couple of issues. Mr. Mohammed Saeed is very vocal, and he touched upon a lot of good points. This is a point directed to Councilman Moreno. The remarks you made on Facebook are so improper. You're calling a nation or a certain nationality of people, and I quote, "That's why those towelhead countries are all beep beep." An apology is not going to fix this, Mr. Moreno. You are an administrator at a school. You were a vice principal at Calexico High School. You shaped the minds of the youth. You taught these kids hatred. Because you know what? You call them towelheads, you're calling every single Asian person a towelhead. Because the Middle East is in that continent. We're all Asians at the end of the day. So when you call Mr. Mohammed a towelhead, you're calling me a towelhead. You're calling Mr. Kim a towelhead. That's very offensive. Especially you being an educational administrator. You are held to a higher standard, just as the chief is, just as anybody that's serving in the commission, Mr. Kim, Mr. Mandy, Mr. Castro, and everybody that works for the city is held to a higher standard. And you're teaching hatred and disrespecting a bunch of communities and a bunch of people in this city. You know, the Council of Islamic Relations has been contacted in reference to this. Expect a major lawsuit coming down to the city, the school board, because of your comments that are so racist and biased. I'm dumbfounded for words. This usually doesn't happen to me because I talk a lot. But I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, I am just disgusted at your actions of how big of a bigot you are and a racist. Another thing is this. You accused a certain council member here of harassing a high school student. Used backdoor channels to call the police. Waited till an officer came back off light duty and contacted him to investigate this. All of a sudden, this councilman is being investigated by the police for stalking charges. Stalking. He's married. He has a reputation. Don't you think when the officer went and spoke to him at his place of business, his wife didn't find out about this? And when his wife found out about this, you're creating havoc in this man's life, in his personal life, because of your, I guess, assumption that it was him. Then what happens? You call and call and call and bug the daylights out of the police department to do something about something that's frivolous. And then it turns out that you push this issue not knowing who it is. And I spoke to the investigating officer because they asked me to look into this. Then what happens is when the officer shows this girl a picture of this councilman.
Point of order, Chief, stop the clock. Isn't this a private matter that he is speaking of? And how is he privy to this knowledge that he is saying here in public? I have no idea. Are we going to allow him to continue like this?
Well, I think I'm well within my rights to say whatever I can or want, right? We're in public comments,
You can say
right?
whatever you can, but nobody else can. Okay.
Well, I thought we were in public comments. I thought it was my right to say whatever I wanted to say during my 3 minutes. Is it
Apparently you've got 6 minutes because Mr. Kim has given you 6 minutes.
Well, this has been done in the past, so since it affects you...
As I was mayor, I never did that.
Since it...
3 minutes per customer, Mr. Kim. This is the problem. It's going to start.
Yes, you did.
Well, see, other people have done it.
Yes, you did.
See, why are you picking on Mr. Kim? Is it because he's Asian? Because you're picking against his race now? What are you laughing about? You're the only one. I mean, come on. This is a serious matter. I don't see anybody else laughing in here. Do you find humor in this? They should be kept in the confines. It's already out and about.
Mr. Zhang, to try to address council, please. Okay, you keep quiet, please. You keep quiet, please. Go, you to address to the council.
Okay, where did I leave off? Okay, so I'm finding out, you know, I'm talking to this investigator. He's telling me that you were there at the lineup, and, you know, the truth will come out at the end, Mr. Moreno, but I don't know why you're accusing certain councilmen and creating havoc in their personal lives because of your discriminatory behavior against them. I'm not going to mention any names, you know, but it's one of the 4 up there, and it's not the one at the end or the other one, so there's only one left.
At this time, I would request Mr. Jung to keep his comments
Beg your pardon?
between the police department.
I will, Chief. I'm done. But you know what? It's not right what you did to him. And you know what, Mr. Moreno? You should resign as a councilman because you're a racist.
Thank you, Mr. Zhang. I think it's, everybody's expressed their concern. So now, if nobody talking, and then we're going to go into the city council. Comment, Mr. Leal.
How many minutes do I have? I'll be quick. I'll try to be quick and fit it into 3 minutes. I was at the county Board of Supervisors meeting today. I want to congratulate everybody that was honored. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. Brown Bag Coalition, the Heffernan Memorial volleyball team, and you know, it was a good meeting. It was packed. Nobody fit in there, so I was way outside. But I want to congratulate everybody. There's something I wanted to speak about that I think is very, very important, and that is, I think something that we're not doing at a city council level or at a city level is that I saw today at the Board of Supervisors meetings, and I think we should hopefully do in the future is, you know, they honor their employees. You know, they have a monthly employee of the month, you know, things of that nature that I think would bring the morale up for police, fire, and other departments that I haven't seen since I've been on council. I haven't seen that happen. I know in the past it was happening, and I think the council should probably bring that back. I think it helps the city with morale and everything. And I wanted to make a comment also on thanking the community. I think today as I was driving here to the meeting, I happened to pass by, there's a park, not a park, there's a water retention basin that the family by the last name of Velis adopted. And I saw a guy there, you know, working the dirt, and I stopped. I said, "Sir, you know, who are you?" He says, "Well, my name's Roberto Velis, and I adopted this park, and I'm getting it ready for people to walk on it and run on it." Now, I'm just thinking, you know, not just him, but everybody, a lot of people, and a lot of you are here, a lot of people that do things for this community don't get paid $1, or even maybe talked about, and I just want to thank everybody. Both sides of the aisle. I know that the city's divided in some way, shape, or form because we have different mentalities, ideologies, and maybe even political views. But we all play a part in this city, whatever side it is. And I just want to thank everybody. I thank the man himself that was there, everybody that has a park that's adopting it, because even though the city has failed all of us, because for whatever reason we can't maintain our parks, our kids don't have parks to play in, we're using water retention basins, the city has failed, yes. But it's funny how the people of Calexico are unlike any other city, at least that I know of in the valley. We do things for free. We go out there, you know, we love this city so much that no matter how much our government fails us, you know, and we can complain day and night, we still go out there and help and plant trees, and, you know, all these things that we do that are great for the city of Calexico. I wanna touch on something that Mr. Lopez, and I've never met you before, but I'm glad that you're here, voicing your opinion. And I want to say publicly, because I want to say I'm sorry to the community. When I took this seat up here on this council, the city was already around a year without having any financial documents. And I started asking questions, and what was told to us as the council as a whole was, we're changing softwares, so we can't give you guys information. Somehow we bought into that lie, and 6 months went by. So we're a year and 6 months, a year and 7 months with completely blind. Finally, until I opened my eyes and I said, this can't be going on, you know. And I want to say I'm sorry to the community, because for 6 months, I should have put my foot down ever since I sat in this seat and said, no, we're not going to continue this way. We need financials, and I didn't. It took me 6 months to open my eyes, but you know what? As a councilman, I see my flaws, and I really. Like I said, I ask for your forgiveness because it took me that long. We find out we're $6 million overspent, and I just think, you know, what would have happened if I would have waited 6 months more? I mean, would the city be completely bankrupt, or I don't know. But one thing I do want to touch on, I think somebody went up there and said, you know, as a city council member, I had a good list of 20 people, calling me on a daily basis and coming to city council meetings and going to town hall meetings and telling me, if you do not hire this person, you know, we will go after you. We will recall you because the people want this. I gave in to the pressure. I voted to give this person the contract, and look what they did. Look what he did.
Mr.
3 minutes up.
Yes,
Let me close with saying, like I said, I'm sorry. I was going to make one comment and say that I've been on the council for a little over a year, and for the first time, I feel that we're getting along, but I spoke too soon. I think we were getting along. We were working good. Hopefully, this little incident doesn't derail us. Can I have one more minute? I'm almost done. That way I can finish. The problems that we have in our city, real quick, before I came on council, there was a lot of things I wanted to do. Now that I'm here, I realize that to do things up here, you need something, and that's money and the people to do it. Now we have a problem. How do we get things done without money? Because that's exactly where we're at. And so for the people, for the city council, for everybody that's here, you know, just bear with us. You know, give us a chance to hopefully try and fix the financial situation so we can get back on track. I wish we could hire 20 cops tomorrow. I wish we could, you know, have the parks ready next week. You know, these are the cards we were dealt, and help us out, and that's all I can say. One last thing. Congratulations. We had some great news today that our friend Caldi is cancer-free, and I want all of us to clap for that. That's great news. And he left to smoke a cigar, I guess.
Thank you, Mr. Real. Mr. Moreno? 3 minutes.
Well, first of all, let me just start by extending an apology to Dr. Asiad and any others of the Muslim faith for my comment, which was obviously taken out of context. Anyone who knows me and has worked with me knows that I am neither racist nor bigoted nor prejudiced toward any particular ethnic group, culture, group of people, if you will. There was a video that was posted on Facebook, what appeared to be a headmaster of a elementary school slapping kids in the face. And that was very disturbing to me because I feel that the foundation of any government is the education of its children. And I was angered by what I saw. So my comment on Facebook was out of anger, more so than anything else. I should have measured my words. I should have counted to 100 before I posted anything. I sincerely apologize for any disrespect to any members of the Muslim faith. Like I said, I've been a teacher for many years, a school administrator, and my job is to keep not only curriculum with state standards, etc., but also keep it a safe campus. I'm very upset that Jason Jung was speaking on a case that I reported from a student who reported it to a teacher. It is my job to call the police when there is an issue with a student feeling unsafe. I didn't do any police work. All I did was call the Calexico PD, and I had the young student talk to them. I talked to no one about this except the school psychologist and the parent of the student in question. Now, how Jason Jung got the information is a slap in the face to us as citizens who expect confidentiality. Just so you know, there are two Mr. Kims that have a business downtown. And when one of the students said it was Mr. Kim, I says, I'm not handling this. You want to report it? I'm giving you that opportunity. Because I feel that that is the proper thing to do. So I had nothing to do with what went on. Jason Jung should not be privy to cases at the police department that are under investigation. Now, how he got that information, I don't know. But I just want to say that I have nothing against Mr. Kim or anyone of Asian, Middle Eastern, whatever. I'm teaching tolerance. I'm teaching cultures, and we need to get along. And that Facebook sentence that went on was just poor judgment on my part, poor wording. So if we can move on with this, but I seriously feel that the remarks on the case regarding a student in my school were unwarranted and should have not happened. And hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Mr. Castro.
Yes, I have one issue to talk. I don't like to bring up issues of personal conduct, but it is necessary because it affects all of us. I was receiving many calls of allegation or racist remarks toward Muslims by Councilman Jan Moreno. This is disturbing and serious issue. Again, people, any races. That's one of the reasons I would like to put this issue in the future agenda item at the end of the meeting for the next council meeting. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Moreno attacked me 2 times today. He mentioned Mr. Kim. He should not. My experience during the city, school district is racist groups. I've been called yellow at the meeting, and school board didn't do anything. I was contested, and they didn't do anything. They false accusation bring it to say sexual harassment. And I hired Mr. Jung as investigations. I won't tolerate it just for that. Intentional mistake is attacking my marriage. School district, they did it several times to me. I was lucky, but I still hurt. Every time when I accusing sexual harassment, now another one, what is my marriage? How I couldn't sleep? Have you guys seen me imagining? Everybody, racist, they don't say I'm racist. They take action. The thief never gonna say, I'm gonna steal something. He take action. Thank you. The city manager's report, Mr. Morales.
I have no comments for tonight.
Thank you. The consent agenda. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Success Agency, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Real, second by Mr. Moreno.
Aye.
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 Aye. Item removed, okay. Discussion and the potential action items. Number 6, authorize the city manager to sign an MOU with Imperial County Office of the Education for participation in Project Escalate. Is there anything, Mr. Morales, explain on those?
Make a motion to approve item number 6.
Second.
Oh, wait. I am asking the staff to explain.
Good evening, council members. My name is Sandra Toller, Community Services Director. This MOU is between Imperial County Office of Education and the City of Calexico to participate in Project Escalate. It is a program to place students to do 30 hours of work in various departments so that they can gain job experience. And it also provides free help for the department. So it's the alternative school, the one located here in Calexico, and they're ready to place several students in our departments. It is free of charge to us. The benefit for the city is that we get help, and the benefit to the program is that the students get work experience.
It's a great program.
I completely support the program. I'm always for getting our kids in a working environment. I think it's extremely important that this be something that they do before they start going to college and learn the value of money. And so I'm all for it. I only have one question, and that is, it's been brought to my attention in the past because I have tried to promote similar things like this, which is volunteering. And one thing that always comes up is, well, our insurance won't cover volunteers. Who will be liable if something was to happen to any of these kids while they're working for the city?
Our insurance does cover volunteers. That's why they get registered, yes.
Okay, perfect. There's a motion, second?
Second.
Aye.
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 Motion by the Mr.
Me. And second
Real,
by-
second by Mr. Moreno. We voted? Aye.
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 Mr. Moreno?
Aye, yes, I voted yes.
Okay. 4-0, we passed it. Number 7, appointment of delegate member of the alternate member and delegate member and alternate member to the Southern California Association of Governments, SCAC, Regional Conference and the General Assembly Conference, May 5th and 6th, 2016 in La Quinta, California.
I make a motion that
Mr. Real is the delegate member. I'd rather appoint you as a delegate member, Mr. Real. You're the up-and-coming.
Well, we usually to the mayor and the mayor pro tem was appointed.
I was going to make a motion that it stay the same. Right now, it's Mayor Kim, delegate, and the second would be Pro Tem Castro. I'm fine with leaving it that way.
Alternate?
The alternate, yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Aye.
Motion by the Mr. Real to mayor and mayor pro tem delegate and what's called the alternate.
Next year.
Second by the Mr. Moreno.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Okay, 4-0 to pass. Approval of the memorandum of the agreement for sexual assault response service between Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District and the City of Calexico. Do we have some explanation on this?
I'll make a motion to approve item number 8.
Okay, wait,
This is a good, this is also good. I believe this is a...
We don't have any of that? Okay. For the record, the city manager was very sick today, so he couldn't attend the meeting today. Okay, make the motion to Mr.
Make a motion to approve item number 8, yes.
And the second by Castro.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, second, Calexico Redevelopment Success Agency consent agenda. Number 9, resolution of the Board of the Directors of the Successor Agency to the Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency approving the recognized obligation payment schedule 1617 A and B for the period of July 2016 through June 2017 and approving certain related actions.
I'll just say I am actually the chairman for the Successor Agency, Redevelopment Agency Board, and we approved this, I believe, last week. So I motion for its approval.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, do you have some question on this? Council?
No questions.
No questions?
No questions.
So we vote?
Aye.
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 Ms. Garcia, 4-0, it's passed. Aye. And when are we going to fix the voting machines?
Maybe the chief can fix it. He fixed the mic.
Okay. So, business item number 10, discussion of the Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency budget from 2012 to the present. Mr. Gutierrez?
Mayor, if I may, being that the city manager is absent tonight, and in my discussion with the finance director, he has not completed his report. He is requesting if we could go ahead and table it, and at the next meeting, he will be prepared to provide a full report on the redevelopment agency budget.
Okay, so you don't have anything, Mr. Gutierrez?
No, not a report that I would like to provide, so you have a better understanding.
Any summaries? I requested at least some summary. You didn't have it written yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, thank you. So we have a request from the staff to the table for the next meeting. Okay, it looks like we done for the.
I have one future agenda item, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I'd like to bring back the ordinance for the tent sales for vehicles within the city of Calexico and discuss that once again.
Okay. Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. And
I have an agenda item that, you know, we've gone back and forth on this item quite a bit over the years, and this is before I was here. And I've contacted several institutions, including Caltrans, Pura County Transit Authority, and nobody seems to have a problem with this happening, and for some reason we haven't been able to get it done. And I think, you know, it gets frustrating in government to kind of go around in circles, and there's renderings about it and, here in our offices inside the city. I think it's time that we do something to help and revitalize our downtown. So I want to put on my future agenda item, I want to put that the council finally take a vote on whether to give the direction to our city manager to start with the closing of Rockwood between 1st and 2nd to create a plaza, something there where we can put some places for people to sit, some kiosks that the city could possibly rent and make some revenue so that we can actually have 2 or 3 people assigned just to clean downtown from the income of those rents, and bring something new. We need something new in Calexico, something where we can have, you know, I'm getting frustrated and I'm not putting down our mariachi festival, but, you know, this last couple of weeks, we have the tri-tip cook-off, the rib cook-off, we have the carrot festival coming. We have all these festivals in other cities, and you know, we need our downtown to have something like that so that we can have our farmers markets there, you know, concerts days, open mic days, or something for our community.
Art exhibits.
art exhibits, something outdoors that we can, some place
I will second
in
that
downtown.
for Mr. Real.
And so I would love to put that on the agenda finally and get to moving on that, because it goes back and forth and never gets done. So let's put that on the agenda. Hopefully, we'll talk about it up here and either kill it once and for all or get it going. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Castro?
Yes, I would like to put in the agenda the racist issue, racist remark towards Mr. Moreno, John Moreno, because there is I received so many calls on that issue, so I would like to hear an update, and also there is some issues seriously about that, and we need to, like I told you, there is some allegations. I would like to hear that, what's going on.
Well, it was very simple. It was straightforward.
That's it, Mayor. Thank
Don't
you.
tell me what
Okay.
that's it. It's simply straightforward. I apologize. You want to move? It was a sincere apology.
I want that in the future
It
agenda.
didn't happen.
Mayor.
It did not
Okay,
happen
this
here.
one is, we not agendized, we cannot discuss it here. So it is only the future agenda.
He needs a second for
Okay,
this.
future agenda to present the time. Okay, if they don't have anybody to the more future agenda, then we close the meeting 8:09.
Thank you, Mayor.